Hello, sorry. Thank you. Sorry, I was on mute. Let's see, got it. And we will just get started. And thank you all for joining us. We're excited to have you here. It's an exciting time as we prepare for the national conference. And so, in lieu of that, and all of our time and respecting that, I'll get started for us. So today on our agenda, we are going to be, of course, doing our welcome and introductions from the AISES staff and an AISES overview, our conference demographics and agenda overview. Convention Services of the Southwest is joining us today to share with you about the exhibit floor, and other important information will be shared, and then we will have some time for questions at the end. Kelly, if you want to kick us off with some introductions.
Absolutely. Good afternoon. Thank you all so much for joining us here. I see a lot of familiar names and faces on the Zoom call today, and lots of new folks that we haven't yet had the opportunity to meet, and we look forward to doing so. My name is Kelly Jewett Fernandez. I serve as the Vice President of Business Development here at AISES. I'm a citizen of the Cheyenne River Sioux Tribe, and today I'm very happy to be here in the homelands of the Lakota Nation in Rapid City, South Dakota. Visiting for the weekend. However, I work out of the AISES Boulder office. Alicia?
Good afternoon. Again, my name is Alicia Mitchell, citizen of the Cherokee Nation out of Tahlequah, Oklahoma. I am in the position of the Associate Director of Tribal and Government Relations here at AISES, the Staff Liaison for our Government Relations Council, and the Staff Liaison for the Tribal Nations Advisory Council. I'm glad to have you here. Hope?
Hi, yes, I am Hope Archibek. I'm Development Officer, and I get the pleasure of working with our corporate sponsors and partners, along with assisting our government and tribal partners with surrounding our events. So National Conference, that's why you've been seeing a lot from me, and I'm your person to ask questions. And so my pronouns are she, her, hers. I'm Chicana. I am from Colorado, so work in the Boulder office with Kelly, and we're just excited to get this kicked off. So thank you for being here. Candace?
Hello, everyone. Candace McDonough. I'm a Senior Development Officer here at AISES. I work with our partners, corporate and some government. I do work on Winds of Change as well, which I'm sure you all maybe have heard from me before. Thank you very much for coming. We're looking forward to seeing you at Spokane, and Bree, you're up next.
Hi, everyone. My name is Brianna. I am the development manager here at AISES. I've been in this role since May. My roles here are just supporting the development team, and then my major role for National Conference is exhibitor servicing. I am currently living in Houston, Texas. That's where my home office is, but I'm originally from Boulder, Colorado. I'm not sure if Lori is on yet, so I think we can just go into the next session.
And we will have some of our events staff to answer any questions. So that was Catherine and Michaela's pictures you saw. So thank you.
Thank you all. So I wanted to just provide just a very, very brief overview of the AISES organization, because like I mentioned at the beginning of the call, is that we do have a lot of new partners that'll be joining us for the first time this year. And so just to give you a little snapshot of the organization outside of the conference, I just wanted to share that our mission is to increase the representation of Indigenous people in the math, science, technology, and engineering fields, or STEM, and really encourage our students who are in educational pathways as well as career pathways. We are a membership-based organization with 7,222 individual members. We work with students at 198 AISES university and college chapters throughout the US and in Canada. We have 20 professional chapters, 3 tribal chapters, 246 PK through 12 affiliated schools. We also operate to deliver programs and services throughout the year. And with an annual operating budget of $13 million. We are known for providing academic scholarship support to students specifically in the STEM fields, and we've been administering programs since 1977 and have awarded nearly $16 million in scholarship funds. We do currently have a staff of over 40 people, and although we do have offices in Boulder, Colorado and Albuquerque, New Mexico, we actually are very honored to have staff and representation throughout the US and Canada in over 10 states. In terms of the way that we operate, all of the programs and events that we offer throughout the year are focused on student access and success, career support and development, and also helping to create equitable and inclusive educational institutions and workplaces. And so I just wanted to highlight a few of our programs that fall within those three areas. And when we send the PowerPoint out later on this afternoon or tomorrow, depending on how quickly we can convert the Zoom file, you'll be able to click on the document that you see here on the slide right now to get a better view of all of the programs that we offer throughout the year. But I just wanted to highlight some of the programs that we offer throughout the year, because we really want to work to initiate and support students and teachers at an early age to get them exposed to the STEM fields. We work with high school students to expose them to various STEM careers through our college and career readiness programming. We have a very robust mentorship program. We offer robotics in terms of computer robotics and FIRST robotics. And we have a number of other programs that I won't mention, but I just wanted to really kind of paint the picture that in addition to the conferences and bringing the AISES family together every year, we also offer dozens of programs throughout the year that really aim to advance our mission to just increase the representation of Indigenous people in STEM. Thank you.
So again, and one thing that I failed to say on my introduction is I actually reside in Chandler, Arizona. So I am one of the remote staff members. So I just wanted to share where I reside. And so our national conference demographics. So as of today on our registration numbers, we have a total of 390 high school students with their chaperones. We have college students and their advisors at 890. We have 529 professionals, 41 elders, and 997 exhibitor and sponsors. We will have 238 exhibit booths this year, and there are 96 interview booths set up. So these are the demographics of where we are at now. And now I'm going to share a little bit of the conference overview with you. Of course, we're having our sponsor and exhibitor orientation today, right now. Some of the events that I want to bring to your attention is the opening ceremony. And that is October 19th at 8:30 in the morning, followed by the State of AISES by our president, Sarah Echohawk, October 19th at 11 a.m. We have our Academic Institution Advisory Council meeting at 11 a.m. We will have Tribal Nations Advisory Council also at 11 a.m. And then the Government Relations Council meeting will be held at 1:45. At the same time, we're also hosting the Corporate Advisory Council. So just wanted to bring this to your attention that you make sure that you stop in one of those meetings based on your area. So national conference overview again. So networking suites, we have October 19th at 5 p.m. And the gemstone reception is for our sponsors. That event is at 7:30 p.m. We have our college and career fair, October 20th from 9 to 4. We have our closing talking circle, October 21st at 3 p.m. And we have our closing banquet on the 21st at 6 p.m. And then the social powwow, October 21st at 9 p.m. And then some of the sessions that I just thought might be interesting to encourage you to attend, we just pulled a few out that might be relevant to you. But of course, we highly recommend that you check out either through the mobile app or our website, the program, to see the full listing of our, we have 100+ sessions this year. So I just highly encourage you as an exhibitor and sponsor to attend some of the sessions. I won't read these over to you, but I will say the one in the grand ballroom is the high-level executive federal leaders coming in. So just wanted to put that on there and just let you know. So we have some great presenters this year, as always, and we just invite you to attend those sessions and really review the conference agenda to see what is relevant to you, so that we can get you out to these conferences and these sessions. And at this time, I'll turn it over to Hope.
Yes, so if you have not checked out our website, please do so, because our agenda is live and it is conference.aises.org. So that's where you can find the speakers, the sessions, times. They do have categories under them too. So if the session pertains to students, professionals, all that good stuff. This information is also on the conference app. So please download the app. I know that's when we're running around the convention center, that's sometimes easiest to check. So download the app before you get there. And sorry, I was getting a phone call. Sponsors, exhibitors, and professionals must be registered by tomorrow. So I know you have probably received several emails from us or Brianna and the team. So we really have just been wanting to remind you and make sure that everyone's in before tomorrow, because after tomorrow there will not be any we can't add any registrations, and then there will not be on-site registrations offered. So that is something we have switched up a little bit this year if you've participated in the past, but we are doing it because AISES is growing, which is a great problem to have, but due to capacity and catering, we need everyone registered by tomorrow, and we will not be able to make any exceptions. So
And Hope, sorry, I was gonna add, this is Alicia again. I meant to also add on my portion and right there where you're speaking, that even though registration is closing, it is a priority for our college students to be there. So should we have some more come through, that we are anticipating to have some more, we definitely will allow them to get registered. So registration will be closed for professionals, but we are going to allow some students to get in.
Yes, and we usually do see students registrations spike at the end, so we will keep that open for them and make sure that there's a lot of students for you all to connect with. Next, thank you for adding that too, Alicia. Sponsors and exhibitors may still sign up as volunteers, and this can be done at the link below, and we can also send that in the chat, but these slides will be sent out afterwards too. So you can sign up to volunteer in the resume room, be a judge for the research competitions, or monitor any meeting rooms. So that is where you will sign up for that. Next slide, thank you. And then I will kick it off to Brianna for our networking game. We always have a little incentive for the students to network.
Yes, so this year, the networking game is going to be different from last year. For the years prior, we are going to be providing a unique QR code for your booth. And so you'll just have that kind of in the background, and just however you feel that you engaged well with the attendees, have meaningful conversations, make connections. Anyone that asks questions or provides details about themselves, or you can pull out that QR code. The attendee will then scan it using their conference app, and then they will get counted at the end. The MC at the prize booth is going to be just calling out at random, and attendees can go up to that booth, and then they'll get their scans counted. So whoever has the most scans at that time will win a prize. And I just wanted to also mention that we are still collecting prizes for the prize booth. So if you are interested in that, give me an email or send me an email, and I will set you up with instructions on how to send a gift over if you would like to do that. And we just also thank the sponsors and exhibitors who have donated prizes to the prize booth.
And here are some more details about exhibitor move-in. So we do have, I know on our exhibitor service kit there it says vendor move-in and then exhibitor. You all are exhibitors. So that is for our college and career fair move-in times. The vendor is for our vendors who sell materials. So definitely pay attention to exhibitor times, but they're right here, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. on the 19th. So that's the day, that's on Thursday, the day before our college and career fair. And then the move out is October 20th for 4:30 p.m. starting. So right after college and career fair ends, and then you have until 8:30 p.m. We do have shipping and receiving through CSS. So that's through our decorators and in the exhibitor service kit linked there, and also in your sponsor benefits document. If you all have access to that, it's also linked in there, but it is on our website as well. So most of this information on our exhibitors page of the website. I do want to mention, so if you have a 20 by 10 booth or larger, 20 foot by 10 foot booth or larger than that, our decorators do not set up the basic drapes and pipes and tables, because usually usually with those bigger booths, you guys have your own setup, your own footprint. So if you do want that standard tables, pipes and drapes, trash can, if you want that standard, please let Brianna or I know over email, and we can get, or CSS, you can contact CSS directly, which is below and also in the exhibitor service kit. But we do need to know that, because if you go to your booth and it's just empty and you weren't expecting that, we can have the standard booth set up for you. The next thing is lead retrieval. So all of you should have received some communications about the badge scanning device, also known as lead retrieval. And if you do need extra, if you want another to purchase any additional lead retrievals, you can also contact me, email me, or call me, and I can give you that vendor sheet to order it, also in the exhibitor service kit. So most things, it's a really long document though, that exhibitor service kit. I know you have to read through it very thoroughly, but it's in there. And then you do have we will have Wi-Fi in the college and career fair exhibit hall. Although if you do want a higher bandwidth, that is ordered through the convention center facilities. And then I don't know, did we want to take a look at the floor map? Perfect.
Yeah, let's do a quick little look. And while we do that, I did put the link to the exhibitor kit in the chat. And it's also will be sent out following the session today. Yes, we'll be sending the slide deck and the recording of the Zoom. And as Hope mentioned, in the exhibitor service kit, you can find more information about the lead retrieval, any shipping and receiving, and any questions that you have about your actual booth setup. Carpeting is not required. There will be carpeting in the aisles of the exhibit hall. However, in your booth space, you would order that if that's something that you needed. It looks like we're struggling, excuse me, a little bit to get up the floor map.
I was going to invite Lori if we missed anything. Lori, could you speak now, or was I speaking correctly about the standard booth setup for the 20 by 10? Lori is a representative from CSS here.
Right. So if it's an inline booth, if you're in a 10 by 20 that's in line with the rest of the booths, like you've got 10 by 10s on each side of you, you're going to automatically get the standard booth package. If you're set up in an island and you want any of that information, you just have to come and see us at the service desk and we'll bring it over to you. But you're correct, we wouldn't set it, but you can have it if you want it. Just let us know once you're on site.
Perfect. So on site, and then the CSS info booth will actually be in the back of the floor plan. Is that correct, Bree and Lori? By booth 850, I want to say, in the back wall.
Somewhere back along that wall, we're still working that out, and we might not know exactly where it's going to be until we get there and see how much space we have, because we want to make sure we have space to get you all serviced.
Yes. And Catherine, I think you had your hand up. Go ahead. Do you have a question?
No, it was clarified. I just got confused about, like you said, asking for the setup, but someone else clarified that you automatically get the standard setup with the table and chairs without having to ask for it.
Yes, and Lori just clarified if it's in line with the rest of the booth.
Yeah.
If it's a sponsor island, that is a different case.
Yes, and Lori and their team has been working with AISES for longer than I've been here, so it's been over 8 years. And so they've got a lot of experience working with many of you, and for this specific show, they're extremely helpful, a great team to work with, and so don't hesitate to ask questions. But prior to us moving on, and since we have Lori on the line, if there's any other questions, feel free to pull yourself off of mute. Questions related to decorating, booth setup, shipping and receiving of items. And so let's go ahead and just pause for a few moments in case we have questions that come up.
Hey,
Sorry, I'm on a plane. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Excellent. So based on the information that you just provided, that we can request the items that should be in the booth if we're in an island, but you won't put them there. And we ordered a table assuming that we wouldn't get one. Do we just need to update our order, or what's the best way to, do we just need to call and get our order updated, or what's the best way to for that?
So if you ordered furnishings outside of the booth package, those would automatically be set to your booth in that from that order. If you wanted booth package furnishings, the standard table and chairs, when you get on site, just stop by the service desk and tell us that you wanted them or how many. Because if you're in a 20 by 20, technically you get 4 tables, you might only want 2. Stop by and let us know how many you want, and we'll bring them over.
How do we, and do we need to take the table that we put on the order, like on our order with CSS, do we need to take that off, or is it?
If you don't want it, then you can cancel your order. But if it stays on the order, that's what we're going to deliver to your booth.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hey, I had a quick question, and maybe this was not just for this particular section, but I figured I would ask it anyway. It was stated that there has been some comms sent out to the people who have finished their registration. And some of my teammates here at Exhibitor Group hasn't received any comms. And so I just want to confirm, were those comms sent to the folks that registered? Were they sent to like a particular group of people, or just wanted to?
Yeah, so when you registered, the email that was registered as an attendee should have received confirmation or other communication emails like you're saying. If you have not, can you email me please, or Brianna, and then we can look to see who is registered for Expedia, and then if they're not registered, you can get them registered before tomorrow and just make sure that everything's set. So I can send you a list if you go ahead and just shoot me an email.
And I'm sorry, this is Sophia Jones from RTX. Could you please repeat, what is the registration for?
So we have our sponsorship registration, which all of you have signed up as an exhibitor and sponsor for the booth, but you also need to do your individual registration, which prints you a badge. That's the only way you can get into the College and Career Fair. It's just an individual registration with your personal information, and it'll be printed onto your badge to go to anything in the conference, the whole 3 days.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And Jacqueline, do you have a question?
Hi, yes. I have a question around, I guess, shipping our materials back home. I was looking through the kit and I saw that there's a specific, I guess, printout. Would you recommend it's easier to do that printout? Typically, when we go to host events, we are also provided with return labels. Is there a different process if we bring our own return labels rather than print out those labels that are in the kit?
So the labels that we have in the service kit are your inbound shipping labels. Those would not be for outbound, because you'd want to use your own address when you're shipping out from the show. Every shipment that leaves the show floor via like the loading dock for us to handle, you would need to come to the service desk and fill out a bill of lading. One of the forms in the service kit is an outbound shipping information, and you can complete and return that to us, and we would have a pre-completed bill of lading. You would still need to come and pick that up from us, and we can also print shipping labels for you. Then you would also need to make sure that you schedule your carrier unless you are using the show carrier. And if you didn't want to deal with all that and they're small enough, you're welcome to take items with you, drop them at FedEx, take them into your hotel if you have those pre-printed labels on them.
Gotcha. So essentially, we can do most of the stuff in person when we're there as well, correct?
Yes, we will have an on-site service desk with some representatives to help with all of that.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Hi, I'm sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. This is Teresa with NSF. Just to clarify, you will not set up anything for booths that are like an island. We would need to see the service desk to say, hey, we have 6 tables and 8 chairs. We would like that set up for us. Is that correct?
That is generally how we do it, because we spend more time removing items from those islands that are not wanted versus delivering the ones that are wanted. So we just, you can have them, just come and let us know. We'll get them delivered for you. We will have an on-site service desk and we'll have plenty of people to make sure that happens. We just need to heads up to make sure we get them brought over.
Okay, and it's on that day. We don't let you know in advance, correct? We don't let Brianna or Hope know. Okay, I just wanted to make that very clear. Okay, thank you so much.
This is Andrew from EPA in Denver. I have a question about the registration. I understand the deadline's tomorrow. We have one individual from our San Francisco office that hasn't registered yet. So they asked me if they could put a placeholder name in until that person gets back from vacation. Is that doable, or does it have to be the actual person?
That is a good question. I did see something in the chat about updating registrations. We can update the registration. We just cannot add any new registrations after tomorrow. So we can update the information.
Perfect. Thank you very much. We'll make sure we get that person or a name registered, and if we have to switch out, we'll deal with it later. Thank you.
Yep, thank you. And I also am putting in the chat, if you have questions about registrations or want a list or to see how many people you have registered, please email exhibitors@aises.org. And you should have received a couple emails from that email address already, but please email exhibitors@aises.org.
Hi there. I got a questions in regard to the booth itself. Is there an electrical outlet there, or do we have to order? And how do we go about doing it?
So your booth does not include an electrical drop. You would need to order that, and you would order that through the facility. We have a form in the service kit for electrical and Wi-Fi, and it has a link that takes you directly to the facility ordering.
And it's at the very bottom of the exhibitor service kit. So yes, that's to the facilities. Thank you, Lori.
And you said it was, okay, bottom of the service kit, and that's an email that we've already received?
Yes, it's also on our website, and I can or Brianna, can you put the link in, please, to the exhibitor service kit?
Yes, I think Kelly put it up in the chat as well earlier.
Yeah, it might be already in the chat. Thank you.
And that's just, okay, so I guess I'm confused. I apologize. So it's exhibitors@aises.org, or the other one?
Exhibitors@aises.org, that's just an email that goes straight to AISES. So if you just need a question, you just have anything, the development team can check that email inbox. But the service kit will tell you everything, how to order for the booth setup or for electrical, Wi-Fi, things like that. That's for ordering anything for your booth, and that is through CSS, our decorators.
And can you drop it in the chat again? I'm not seeing it, but I mean, I could be wrong. Thank you very much.
No problem.
I see it. Okay, now I got it. All right.
Thank you all. Yes, thank you, Cliff. If there's no more questions, we will move forward with the PowerPoint. And we will have time at the end for questions too, just to remind you.
Right, so your role as an exhibitor is to participate in other conference activities, not just be there at the college and career fair. Go to the opening ceremony, attend, as Alicia mentioned, some general sessions. They're great networking opportunities to be able to talk to attendees at sessions, to talk to them in our networking suites, go to our banquets, and of course, obviously be at the college and career fair. Recruitment into STEM and other fields, so that means basically, you know, let attendees know of all your opportunities. You know, what other opportunities you might have beyond STEM that might be of interest to certain attendees as well. Encourage students in mentoring opportunities, spend quality time with the students, and represent, you know, the professional world as corporate, government, academic, tribal, nonprofit professionals. Next slide, please. The benefit for your organization is it's sort of one-stop shopping, that you get to meet all of our wonderful attendees and talk to them and you know, see everything that there is. Beyond the college and career fair, as I said, for networking opportunities, be sure to take advantage of that. You have access to top quality Indigenous potential applicants, the opportunity to increase diversity within your organization. It's corporate branding for your organization and an opportunity to make a difference. I can't stress enough, and I've said it probably to many of you individually, that you do need to, you know, not only stand in your booth, but please do go and take advantage of everything else at the conference. I think it's really important and it will benefit you greatly. And thank you for coming. And next slide, please.
Thank you all. Prior to jumping into this slide, I just wanted to kind of reiterate what Candace has said and Alicia shared earlier, is that most of you have full conference access. And so while many of you are coming because you have specific roles as part of the college and career fair, we do encourage and welcome you to participate in any and all conference activities. There are a few invitation only or ticketed events, but otherwise, you know, as you come to your conference, whether it's your first or your 10th, we are welcoming you to the AISES family, and we want you to learn and experience as much as you can. And so that includes the talking circles, the powwows, the morning blessings, and other, you know, any of the other activities. Please join as many as you can. In terms of activities that are appropriate for families, while the majority of the conference sessions are targeting high school, college, and professional members and students, there is on Wednesday our STEM activity day, and so that is most appropriate for younger students. And so middle school students from the region will be coming out, and they'll have an opportunity to get to meet older AISES student members and professionals and participate in the STEM day activity, which is an expo sort of event, which some of you are supporting and part of. Also the powwow, and those sort of things. If you do have children that will be accompanying you, they do need to be badged. And so make sure you connect with us if you need any support getting any younger students registered for the conference. And then moving on, just some of the lessons learned that we typically try to share, you know, a few interesting or new things with our partners each year. And so again, we are encouraging you to participate in as many activities. For AISES, where, you know, relationships are really everything for us. And so we want to ensure you have the opportunities to get to know our student reps and our college students and even our high school students, because while they may not be ready for an internship yet, they will definitely remember the positive interactions and the impact that they experience by attending a national conference. And so by being involved in it as much as you can, you have, you know, more opportunities to really become immersed in all that is AISES. There are, students that are less forward and direct and are more non-assertive. And so we just ask all of our partners and recruiters and exhibitors to just be respectful of non-assertive or kind of more timid conversations. Our students are very humble and sometimes quiet. And so you'll really get to know that and appreciate that by participating in the conference. Also, a lot of our students may be coming for the first time ever, and it may be their first college and career fair opportunity. And so we want to encourage our exhibitors to, talk about just, all things your organization or your institution, and really provide as much information to the students as possible. Of course, highlight your corporate branding. Take this opportunity to network with other professionals and other exhibitors, and you will find and see that the AISES family is definitely important to all of us. And there's so many friendships made during the AISES National Conference and other events, and really take advantage of this opportunity to start building long-term relationships with our members. Some of the assumptions is that, with our Indigenous tribes, and I put in the chat earlier, somebody had asked which tribes are members. And so we do have tribal chapters, but we actually are so honored to have students and professionals that participate in our programs and events that represent 400 different tribal nations. And so many of them have their own culture, customs, language, similar values, but even different values. And so just keeping an open mind when, if it's your first AISES conference, and if it's your first, large event with Indigenous students and professionals. Again, we are really proud to have students that are coming from all over, from Hawaii to the East Coast, and all of our First Nations relatives from Canada. And so we'll have a very wide and diverse group of students and professionals that will be at the conference. But as typically happens, we do have a significant representation from the region. And so you'll see a lot of students probably from the Pacific Northwest. And then also, and I mentioned earlier, when you're reviewing resumes and things like that, or sitting and interviewing with a student, we always want to remind our partners that because of the Indigenous values that so many of our students have, they may not list their GPA, they may not, promote their accomplishments and accolades. And so it could take some time as you're interacting with the students to really, to really understand where they are academically, or where they're looking to go. And so that's just one thing that is something to keep in mind as you get ready to come out to the AISES conference this year. Next slide, please. This is an important one. We will hear this at the opening ceremony. It will be listed in the program in your conference app, but AISES does have a code of conduct and a safe camp. What that means is that our conference is a safe camp. It's a welcoming, inclusive, supportive, and safe environment for all AISES family members, regardless of race, gender, sex, religion, sexual orientation, gender expression, or identity. The safe camp includes recognizing that we do have a code of conduct, and anyone found to be violating the code of conduct will be asked to leave the conference immediately. If you experience or witness something where somebody may be in violation of the code of conduct or safe camp, we do encourage you to contact an AISES staff member or a board member if you have questions, or if you have any concerns about anything you experience at the conference. The code of conduct was established many, many years ago by our student leaders. And so what the code of conduct means is that our leaders have set principles that prohibit alcohol, illegal drugs, and harassment. And so it's really important that we have a safe, positive environment for all of our attendees, from our sponsors, our exhibitors, our students, our professionals, and our families. The powwow is a social powwow, going back to that. And so everybody in the whole community is welcome to join us. for the powwow. And so we hope that we have, students from that may not be joining us at the conference, but from Eastern or from Gonzaga or other areas or tribes from the region coming. And so definitely bring your families to the powwow. It's very late, but it's definitely a great time. And we'll have artisan vendors that will be there throughout the conference, but also at the powwow. And we will not be checking badges at the powwow. Looking ahead, I know we're here just gearing up for the conference season and AISES, but I just wanted to let you all know that we have finalized the dates for AISES in Canada National Gathering for 2024. So we'll be in Vancouver once again, February 29th through March 2nd. So save the date. Our national conference next year will be in San Antonio in early October, so October 3rd through the 5th. And then we will be finalizing all of our regional conferences in the next month or so. When we are at national conference, our regions, all 7 of them, will convene during the national conference to finalize where they may be hosting their regional event. But at this time, we have confirmed that University of Arizona will be hosting Region 3. Oklahoma State University will be hosting Region 4, which is at the same time as our NASEF, our National American Indian Science and Engineering Fair. So we'll have middle school and high school students from across the nation competing and presenting their research at the same time as the OSU students will be hosting us for our Region 4 conference. Cornell will be hosting Region 6, and then we will be finalizing dates for Region 1, 2, 5, and 7. Next slide, please. Lastly, before we get into various questions, I just wanted to say on behalf of myself, all of our team, the AISES staff, the AISES organization, and most importantly, the students and professionals that we serve, thank you. Thank you for being a part of the conference. Thank you for your role, whether you're exhibiting, you're presenting, you're mentoring students, or you're advocating and spreading the word about AISES. Our work is important and we couldn't do it without you. And so I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for being here. We cannot wait to see you in Spokane and meet you. And definitely when you see us, be sure to come up and say hello. At this time, I'll go ahead and open this up for questions. We'll kind of look through the chat and vocalize some of them that might be of interest to more people on the line. And then I'm hoping that my colleagues, Catherine and Michaela, who are managing directors of the event and coordinate kind of all things events from hotel to convention to catering and all of those things, are on the line too. And so if we can't answer your question, I'm sure they can.
Hello, I have a quick question. I am new to joining the planning for us joining the conference, and I see that the career fair day, is it just one day that companies will be set up to speak to students and professionals?
That is correct. It's Friday, just one day, 9 to 4:30 p.m. or 9 to 4 p.m.
Okay, and so that's the only time we'll be having people like basically at our exhibitor booth for the conference, and the other times is for us to just go to sessions and et cetera, et cetera.
Yes.
So we will only be staffing people at that time, is what I'm trying to make sure I have a good understanding on that Friday. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
There was a question about the dress code, and we typically encourage business casual attire, but also on Saturday, it's kind of informally more of a traditional attire day. And so you'll see many students wearing ribbon skirts, shirts, and moccasins and things like that. But business casual is generally the attire for the duration of the conference.
So I did have a question. I'm sorry. I dialed them just a few minutes late. The ESR at cssabq.com, that's actually the site, correct? Like the facilities. And then that's, if you need any accommodations as an exhibitor, that's where you would send any questions or special requests?
Yes, so
And
that is a third party vendor, our decorator that we work with. So that's Convention Services of the Southwest, and they will be on site as well during the.
And when you say, if someone were to engage them, what does that mean? You said the decorator. Does that mean just the people that'll be setting up the booth, or?
Correct. Lori, do you want to, I guess, explain a little bit more if you have?
Yeah, I mean, we set up the pipe and drape in the booths. You order furnishings and carpet from us. We can assist with shipping and handling questions. We will be on site. So that email address you read out, that will come to our office. So we can answer, we do our best to answer some of the questions. If it's not a question that we can answer, if it has something to do with registration, we pass that on to AISES, and we just kind of work together to make sure that we answer any questions. If you ask them a question that they need us to answer, they send it to us. So that exhibitors, that AISES email or that ESR email, ask your question and we'll get it to the right person to get you an answer.
And that number, the 505-243-9889, is that AISES or is that
that's CSS, the decorator.
That's CSS. Okay.
Thank you, Lori. Thanks, Sophia, for asking questions.
Could I ask a question real quick?
Yes.
I put this in the chat, but I don't know if folks had a chance to look at it. There's a shutdown looming, obviously. I think everyone's quite aware of that from a government standpoint. In some cases, some government-based contractors are being told that non-essential travel is to be canceled. And so I'm just curious if AISES has thought about, or if there's a position with regard to refunds or something along those lines if somebody's got a booth but they can't travel because of the shutdown. Thank you.
Hi, Frank. I'll take this one. So we encourage you that if next week or on Sunday we have concerns about not being able to attend, that you email exhibitors@aises.org. We do have a cancellation policy that is on the AISES website, and that all of our exhibitors and sponsors reviewed prior to completing their registration. And so we are really hoping that all of our federal friends and partners will be able to travel, but we also are, keeping, aware of the situation and are hoping that, people will still be able to attend. So Frank, I think just in any of our federal partners, if you do get directive that you are not able to attend or you will not be able to utilize your booth, then please let us know, as soon as possible, and we'll follow back up very quickly.
Thank you. And just to clarify, I'm not representing any federal entity, but some of us that are contractors to federal entities, we have to follow some of these tangential rules as well. So that's a reason for the question, but thank you. We'll look, hopefully we won't have to address this. How about that? Yeah. Thank you.
Hope, it's Catherine with events. There's a question in the chat about, is there a way for exhibitors to get to their booth on the 18th or only the 19th? I did want to address that, if I may.
Thank you. Yes, please, Catherine.
The exhibitors will not be able to actually access the show floor and move in until Thursday the 19th. And primarily that is because our decorator and the events team will continue to be having setup done. We need the full day on Wednesday, and we need, for safety reasons, not to have exhibitors on the floor until the 19th, starting at 7 a.m.
Thank you for that. And while you're unmuted, we got a question of when is the last day to edit an existing registration? Can you help with that, Catherine?
Meaning if someone wants to change, I'm guessing if they want to make changes to their registration,
yes,
they can do it, anytime, as long as the person hasn't shown up. But you can do it online. There's access to that under the FAQ page on how to do that.
Perfect.
Maybe Michaela, if you want to drop that in, I'm not sure if that was somebody here on this call. But Michaela, if you could drop those instructions or the location of where to get that information, that'd be great.
Thank you.
I have a question. First of all, great to see so many of your names, putting names to faces. Lovely to meet you virtually. We're first time attendees, and I noticed that we had received calendar invites for some of the events. And I was just sort of curious. I understand that there is an app that we can utilize to help with scheduling throughout the conference timeframe. So for myself, I've received the invites. Should I share those particular invites, or would that be something that they would still have access to for the other attendees who didn't get the invite initially? So one example would be the president's address, and I believe that there are 2 additional events on the 19th specifically. So those are what I'm gearing towards, just understanding how do I extend that to my other folks attending with me?
Yes, so we have Dessa, that's Kelly. Hi.
Hi.
Good to see you. So I sent out the invitation to our corporate advisory council. So I serve as the staff liaison to the corporate advisory council, and we do welcome if you're a new corporate partner and you're not yet on our corporate partner or corporate advisory council distribution list, that you are welcome to attend the CAC meeting. You are also welcome to attend the State of AISES. It's a very brief overview from our president, Sarah, and so you are welcome to share those links. The Corporate Advisory Council, Government Relations Council, and our Tribal Nations Council are slightly different than some of the other affinity organizations some of you all may be a part of, and so we do not have, like a CPC and different things like that. However, we have a very passionate and involved group of professionals that stay connected to AISES and help support the AISES mission by being involved in the CAC, Corporate Advisory Council meeting, and Government Relations Council, and Tribal Nations, and our Academic Advisory Council. And so if you have a passion to be, more involved as a corporate partner or a representative of a corporate entity, we welcome you to come and participate in those meetings. The CAC and GRC and those types of meetings, if you haven't participated, we spend a lot of time with, best practice sharing, providing the most updated information from AISES itself. We also have, like requests of our corporate partners. We ask for their support in spreading the word, for helping us secure resources for academic scholarships when we have, more demand than we have, available. And so that's kind of the role. And so back to your question, if you have other representatives that would be interested in being involved in the organization as a part of CAC kind of on a long term versus just like popping in, then certainly share those invitations with your colleagues.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And I saw that 2 other people have a question. I just have one quick follow-up. The gemstone reception is on October 19th at 7:30. I read in the documents that it would be an invite only. So just from a scheduling perspective, how best do I confirm whether or not we would be invited to that? Just to share awareness. I'm also planning.
So our gemstone sponsors that will be honored at the gemstone reception, the point of contact, whoever completed the registration through our registration system received information already for that. And then there's some guidance on, guests that should be joining.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Jennifer Burnett, go ahead. This is Catherine with AISES. I'll answer a couple questions that are in the chat.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, my question is, when's the last day to order any additional furnishings, specifically electricity, but also like the high top tables, things like that?
So you can actually order, we'll have extra on site, so you can order up until the day of the show. We would prefer, if you wanted to make sure that you can secure the color selections that you want for like drape or a table or carpet, probably a week prior to the show would be a good deadline, because we do have trucks coming in for that. So we'd want to make sure that we have your selected color. But again, if you don't get that pre-ordered, we will have extra stuff on site, so you can still add that the day of the show.
Okay, great. And then another just quick question. So I just want to make sure I understand the sponsored networking and the one that was being discussed before. That's just for a very specific type of sponsor. Is that correct?
Yes, so the gemstone reception is yes for the gemstone Native Circle and other sponsors. And so those invitations will be sent out or have been sent out by email.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, it's Catherine again with AISES. I'm going to jump in here. There's a question that was asked, should exhibitors prepare to staff booths on both the 19th and the 20th? No, only staff your booth for the 20th. The 19th is just your move-in date. So that's when you'll be moving in and setting up your booths. So there's no need to staff again on the 19th. And then there was another question regarding where will the shipping and handling be located? Lori, can I ask you to answer that question, please?
Yeah, we're gonna have a service desk set up towards the back of the hall, somewhere near the receiving dock area. There's a couple locations, maybe over by booths 246, 345, by 550, possibly even by 1050 and 1150. We're just gonna have to wait till we get on site to see exactly what has room for that. We don't want to stick, we have to make sure we pass fire marshal, we have clearances, but it'll be back there in the back of the hall, and we'll have a nice big desk with a header. Blue drapes will be different from the rest of the show floor, so you'll be able to find us.
Thank you, Lori. I just want to be sure that all our exhibitors understand that if you go to the back of the hall, once you go into the exhibit hall, you'll see the main entrance. If you go to the back of the exhibit hall directly from the entrance, along that back wall is where these areas that you will find. The registration desk, we try to keep them informed of where these things are located, but they may not know. So they might get frustrated if they don't know the answer. So if you could just head to the back of the area and back of the hall, you'll see the service desk. And as you're setting up, certainly you'll see the decorator crew around, and so they can help you for sure.
Hey, again, this is Mikhail. So I asked my question earlier, but I think maybe I wasn't just like clear enough. So our members have registered for the exhibition, right? And they didn't receive any confirmation or any type of communication after that. What I'm hearing is that if they want to attend other parts of the conference, they'll need to go in and pay and register like a professional. Is that correct? Or
Nope. So all of the registrations associated with the exhibit booths and sponsorships were full conference access, unless you told us otherwise, are added additional to what was included in your exhibit booth or your sponsorship. And so any attendee who is registered does have access to everything, except for on the program and in the mobile app, you'll see some ticketed events such as the Sequoia breakfast or the student awards luncheon. And so your team is welcome to come to any of the other events. Regarding communications, we do have a conference email. And so every day we've been sending out some correspondence, whether it be highlighting one of our sponsor organizations or download the conference app or a notification about the powwow. And so on a daily or by every other day, we'll pull a new list of those people that are registered. And so, Michael, if you want to just verify with our team, the people that are in our system and registered, just so you feel confident that your team and your colleagues are registered, just email us at exhibitors.org with your organization name, and we'll be able to pull a report very quickly and get back to you.
okay.
This is Catherine again. Lori, I have a question here regarding the somebody was asking the question, do they have to pick up their shipments at the service desk? Can you address that, please?
Sure. So shipments that we receive at either the advanced warehouse or direct to show, we do generally deliver those to your booth, provided that we have your payment information on file. So as long as you have that taken care of and it's labeled correctly, we know where to deliver it to. We would deliver those to your booth. On occasion, we may hold a piece just to make sure that we get a good contact for who is responsible for handling those charges. And then once we get that handled, we just bring it over to your booth.
So, sorry, that this is a related question. So just for me to be clear, if we are sending, for example, swag into the extended warehouse, not the on-site, there are going to be additional charges to that?
Correct. So you pay your carrier to ship the items to
Yes,
either the
we
warehouse
pay our
or
carrier, it will arrive there.
correct. And then there's a handling fee. It's called drayage or material handling. And that's what we do. We receive it, we store it if needed at the warehouse, we deliver it to your booth. All that is considered drayage or material handling, and there is a fee for that.
Okay, is that related to the size or can it be kind of understood before and how it's paid? Is that in the exhibitor kit? So I may go and read it more carefully.
Yes, it is in the service kit. It's called the material handling rate sheet, and it will list the rates for that. It is based on weight of shipments. And then there is a small package fee as well if it's a smaller item. And if you do have any questions on those, you want me to try to explain that for you better, or if you know the weights of your shipments, I'm happy to help at that ESR email address, kind of quote that for you so you know what you could expect.
Okay, perfect. I appreciate that. Just not to have surprises on site and not being able to pay you because of corporate items.
Of course.
So, okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
And just to help out there, Cecilia, and any others that might be asking the same question, when you go to the very first page of the exhibitor kit, there's a summary and there's also the email address and Lori's contact information over at our decorator. That's quick and easy for you to reference as well.
Lori is amazing. She has been helping me with a lot of things. So yes, I will be her worst nightmare, I think. Thank you.
No, I love all my exhibitors. You guys make it fun.
Kara, go ahead.
Sure. Thank you so much. I'm one of those federal employees who we're in the we don't know what's happening kind of thing right now. But I do have a question regarding the booth we purchased. I was looking at our invoice and had one booth, but when I'm looking at the registration, it has for one person. Was that because normally we have two individuals in a booth because one person is not enough. And I don't know if I actually made the right purchase. And I think it's not. How do I add another colleague to the booth? And seeing that possibly the time will have passed when your requirements are when people should be registered, what can we do if perchance this only lasts a weekend shutdown, which has happened in the past, and we're back into October? Can we have an opportunity to get someone to join our booth? And what do I need to do so?
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say, so you're asking, like at this point, you don't believe you needed an additional pass, but you need an additional pass?
So I'll be optimistic in saying that we will be back in time to make AISES happen, like to be there at the event. I am optimistic and I'm operating from that optimism. And if that is the case, I think the booth that I purchased only has for one pass for one staff member. But what I need, in fact, is two passes. So how can I get an additional one if we are open in time to make it to AISES?
Hi, Kara. I'll jump in because are you with NIST? Is that the exhibit booth you are?
Yes.
Okay, we have two NIST booths, and with the one booth purchase though, it does come three. Is that correct, Brianna? 3 registrations. So those are 3 full conference registrations. And so if you guys have those 2 booths, that will actually be 6 combined, but it's 3 per booth.
Okay, because I was not seeing the link for the other one to share with my colleague to register in time just in case. So that's really why I'm like, where is the other one?
I've been looking in my inbox and I only see the one where I got to register, but I didn't see the links where I could send to my colleagues to register since I purchased the booth.
It can be the same one. So that's the
Oh.
same link. Yep, we have it set to a max of 3, so you can use it 3 times.
Lovely. Thank you, Kylie.
No problem.
I'll chime in really quick on that. Kara, we would need that those attendees in the system by tomorrow, regardless of what we're
Sending
thinking
right
of the
now.
shutdown. So
Sending it right now because we want to get everything done before Friday.
Right. Okay. So I just wanted to add that we need to do that by tomorrow. Thank you.
All right, we're a few minutes over. If there's one last question, and then I do want to just really encourage you all, if you have any other questions, let's please use the exhibitors plural at AISES.org as your primary email, especially if you need a response by tomorrow, simply because then all of us on the team have access to the inbox and we can help you more quickly.
Really quickly,
Sorry, I
you
do.
don't take any more time, but Ignatius, if you want to say, I know your hand has been up, the AISES can stay on and answer any questions.
Oh yes, hello. I usually go by Brad. I know, hope you probably have seen my email regarding, I'm with Resolution Copper, by the way, regarding the registration. We were given 10 registration and all have already been used, but unfortunately one of our individuals won't be attending. So I was wondering if there's a way we were able to unregister him and put in another individual. And also, we also have 3 individuals that we're still needing registrations with. Those 3 have to be in a different registration.
Okay, yes, so we can definitely swap out the name. So if you can email the exhibitors at AISES.org and we can get on that for you. And then we can double check on the link that you're saying for 3. Is it 3 additional or for a different booth?
Oh yeah, 3 additional.
Okay, perfect. We can send you the link for additional as well.
Okay, perfect. I'll do it right now. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. And Heidi?
Hi, I just registered this morning and I'm kind of a late attendee for a booth that I'm going to be working at there. So I just want to clarify, there are three passes or registrations that come with an exhibitor booth. And if so, since I registered as a non-member professional, so I could attend AISES and then work at this booth, do I need to do anything to let someone know that I am working at a booth as well as attending?
Yes, so I'm actually so the registrations differ actually based on the size of the booth and then corporate, college and university, nonprofit and tribal business. So what is the booth name that you are with again?
The Native American Fish and Wildlife Society.
Okay, yes. So we do have we have been sending out some registration links to, I think, another contact, or we have a couple people already registered. So if you are replacing one of them, we can change that info, or we can give you the link to register as U.S. Fish and Wildlife. But if you can just email that email address that we've been mentioning, and then Brianna or I can get to it and switch your registration over if it's part of the 2. Are they oh wait, not the 2. Let's double check.
Well, it's 2. So 2 of my colleagues are going and I'm kind of a late addition. So I just went ahead and registered as a non-professional member.
Okay,
we
I'm
just
go ahead
wondering,
and
can I
change it for you on the back end too?
Okay. Thanks.
No
Yes, and if you registered not as an exhibitor or sponsor, but just as a professional, yes, you can still like work the booth there. Everyone who has the badge, that's the full conference registration, which is like 99% of the attendees have all access. And so as long as we have you in our system and you have a badge, you're welcome to, participate in sessions as well as like work the booth to connect with students and professionals.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you all so much.
And I'm sorry, this is Jennifer. I know we're over. Catherine, could we connect on the NLM booth, or if I need to email exhibitors? I just realized that our stuff is going to be in limbo after the workshop between then and the booth. So that's kind of like a weird situation. So if we can connect on that.
Jennifer, which one are you speaking of?
So we're doing the NIH All of Us
Right.
workshop on Wednesday.
Right.
And then we just added the booth. So I just realized like now we're gonna have kind of like a limbo weirdness with all of our stuff from the workshop.
Yeah, if you want to connect offline, Jennifer, we can. That's fine.
Okay, then I'll email you. Okay, I just wanted to make sure who to reach out to. Thank you all. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries, Jennifer. And if I'm not the one, I'll get you to the right person, or I'll find you the answer.
Sounds good.